Professional wrestling is and always has been an industry for families, to entertain families. In fact, WWE's own company name is World Wrestling Entertainment, with their why, which any founder of any major company will tell you is bigger than the what or the how, is to entertain families, to entertain people of all ages around the globe, and WrestleMania 41's ticket prices threaten all of that. Good evening from Swansea wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. And today we are going to be discussing just that, the WrestleMania 41 ticket prices. And to do that, I need to bring in some wrestling fans, undoubtedly. And let's kick things off with the host of Take It to the Table. How are you today, Chaos?
What's good? What's good? God damn, Ben, you did not waste any time. You're going scorched earth on this thing. But it's understandable. We got a lot to talk about, especially with obviously WrestleMania 41's prices. And yeah, I know exactly the pain after going through the struggle getting tickets for this bad boy. So obviously, yeah, we're gonna dive into that shortly. But yeah, I'm excited and obviously be on the first panel with the awesome, beautiful guests that you're gonna introduce shortly. So let's get to it.
And that, of course, is a member of Sunday Night Spotlight. How are you today, Megan?
Hi. I feel like I'm so behind because I got caught up with Comic-Con last week, so I'm catching up on the world outside of that. But I'm doing well, and like Chaos mentioned, this is our first show together, so I'm excited to debate with him a little bit. But overall, yeah, them WrestleMania prices are astronomical. I
Absolutely.
probably have to sell a limb or two to get there, but I'm gonna try to get there.
There's been so many memes going around this week online about like, oh, I was meant to pay my rent. What did you do instead? I got these tickets, and then show Solo Sikoa for that meme. But it is true.
We got in.
It's true though. You'd have to do something to get this money, right? Because people don't have. I mean, like, I can't remember what the floor tickets would have been for like Clash in the Castle, for example, Chaos, when you were on the floor. But I bet they were not 15 grand like they are for WrestleMania. It is
nowhere
absolutely nuts.
Nowhere close.
Over on Instagram, people are already making this political. They're already saying, if you vote for somebody else, then they won't be like this. Let me tell you something, right? No matter what economy in the world, this has got nothing to do with economy, right? Because I think it's over a decade, the ticket prices have increased, I think, 11 times for WrestleMania tickets. 11x. No economy in the world has increased 11x or gone down 11x in the last 10 years, right? It's got nothing to do with that. The fact is the demand is there. And clearly because the demand is there, WWE are thinking, well, we can charge more. And from a business perspective, that makes sense. In the short term, not the long term. A lot of these CEOs nowadays, a lot of people in business only think for the short term. And if you ask, like so many wrestling fans, when they first got into wrestling, they'll say it was as a kid. It was going to events as a kid. It was going with their families. And guess what? Basically, no families can go anymore. I mean, genuinely, it's cheaper to get Oasis tickets than it is to go to this year's WrestleMania. And there was huge outrage. It was. Factually, the only seats which were cheaper were the obstructed view ones. That's how much, and even those were, I think, $500 for the 2 nights. It is absolutely crazy. Floor seats, in the 5 figures. I have never ever seen anything like it. And like I've said, for the longevity of the professional wrestling business, tickets need to be affordable for families. And I'm not saying front row, I'm not saying second row. Hell, I'm not even necessarily saying floor seats. If they want to charge these large figures for the floor seats, go ahead. But you got to have families to be able to just go and attend it in the stands, right? £500 for the cheapest ticket is just an absolute joke. And I am fuming about it. But Chaos, I'm going to pass this to you first. You've been to tons of WrestleManias over the years, and I want to get your thoughts about this entire situation now.
Yeah, I was just obviously just looking back at all the ones I went to, and I remember. I know it's a while back now. It sounds like a eons ago, but yeah, I was able to get front row seat, like 4 rows from the front, WrestleMania 29 and that was $500 including tax. And now obviously moving on, that was 2013, so 11 years, 11 years down the line, and I know obviously the economy is changing and everything like that, but yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. It basically, I feel like they're starting to borrow from UFC's formula, because obviously there's been plenty of complaints with UFC going down this route and charging crazy ass prices, not even for ringside. Obviously ringside would obviously be more, but even just level one, or just going maybe even the second tier was absolutely astronomical. Even there was complaints about when they came to Manchester at the Co-op Arena when it was airing at 3 a.m. in the morning or wherever the hell that was, which was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, but obviously right now we're fighting a two-headed monster. It's not just obviously WWE, but it's also Ticketmaster as well. This dynamic pricing thing is absolutely disgraceful. It's and obviously with the dynamic pricing, is depending on the demand for the event, it will just obviously fluctuate. I think I said it in the GC as well, that at one point the level of the nosebleeds were at one point, when I first got in there, just out of curiosity, I wasn't going to get tickets, but I went in there, it was like $500, and then I went a couple hours later and it was tripled. It tripled. The same block tripled. Where are they getting that? It's absolutely illegal. I know that I know there's some court cases going on with it. I believe Pearl Jam also tried to take Ticketmaster to court for this kind of stuff. I believe Ticketmaster won, so it's not really an easy thing to obviously override. But yes, something's got to give here. It's just pricing out all your fans, even casuals and diehards. And it's even worse. What happens if the event is crap? You spent 15 grand on a very subpar show. We're not guaranteed a great show. Let's be honest. It probably is going to be great, but that's a lot of money to risk for someone that probably is paying out of pocket and probably getting a subpar show. And it's too much. So I don't agree with it. I will never agree with it. I'm not going to skip my mortgage payments for this. It's not worth it. I can get it for $9.99 on Netflix on my big 100-inch screen projector. I'm cool with that. And then yeah, that's it is. But yeah, it's better luck next year. Hopefully they learn from this for next year. Probably won't, but
Yeah, and you said Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing should be illegal. Well, the British government are trying to make it illegal, so this time next year it could be interesting because, I mean, there's a possibility UK fans might get it cheaper or maybe it'll be more expensive. Who knows if if the dynamic pricing does get removed? Sure, but not in America, and that's going to be a headache in its own thing. But you also mentioned UFC, and we know now it's under WWE and UFC and tons of other stuff now as well, of all under TKO. But the only thing this is technically knocking out is all the families from the event. It is an absolute joke. Number one Superfly says those ticket prices for WrestleMania are too expensive. He'd rather save that kind of money and just pay his car insurance and throw a WrestleMania party at home. A lot of people are saying that now.
Yeah, I could get at least about 4 PS5s and still have some change over with the amount, and get a very good cheap holiday at a 5-star hotel for the prices that they're doing. It's just not worth it for two nights, no matter how casual or hardcore fan you are. You can't justify it. But the thing is, obviously they're not really catering to us. They were going for the whales and Brock Lesnar guy and the guy that's always wearing a special guest referee shirt, because they show up regardless. That's what they're beckoning to.
Will
So
they be able to show up to this, or will this be a knockout to them as well?
I hope so. And then, it'll be a nice little lesson. And, get rid of, I've said it for years. I hate Ticketmaster. It is the absolute, even before this dynamic pricing thing, they are absolute shambles, when, on the best day. So they need to get their own system or use someone else. There's not really much of a good alternative, but something needs to give because Ticketmaster is not good.
Well, they actually do have a good alternative, Chaos, that they now own on location, which
There
sells
you go,
tickets.
then.
And they own it. As of this week, TKO owns that. So there really isn't an excuse. Mind you, apparently the tickets were insane on there too. Trill_cam1__ says ended up spending $3K for 2 tickets after fees when they were labeled as $1,100 each. What? I mean, that is an absolute joke.
Yeah, the service charges are ridiculous. And these are even resellers. This is coming straight from Ticketmaster. This is even more egregious. Them service charges are illegal. Everything about Ticketmaster is illegal.
It might well be soon in the UK. Soul says, I guess WWE want to become an exclusive environment for the rich.
Yep.
I mean, people are buying these tickets. As long as people buy, nothing will change. True, and like I said, it's supply and demand. The demand is there, and they're like, well, we'll supply it then. But here's the thing, you got to think long term, which none of these executives are thinking, and it very much is frustrating. I do not understand this comment at all. Corbin hits his head and loses his memory. Okay, that's an interesting one. But Megan, I want to get your thoughts on this situation. What are your thoughts on this dynamic prices, the ticket prices, all of it?
I know it has a lot to do with the fact that it's in Las Vegas and there's an experience, whatever happens in Vegas, stay in Vegas. And that's probably another reason why the tickets are so ridiculously high. But it not only does it make me think of the regular wrestling fans that want to come and enjoy the show and experience WrestleMania, someone like me who's never been to a WrestleMania show, but it also makes me wonder about press. How exclusive is that list going to be? How uh, how possible would it be for someone who is just starting in the business and want to go to a wrestling show and cover it? How possible is it for them to even be approved? I'm sure people like Ariel, Chris, Denise, those familiar faces, I'm sure they'll get a press pass without question. But with the prices that high, it gives me the assumption that it's going to be a very exclusive type of event. So it does make me wonder, like, even for those that wants to cover the shows, like, what is the possibility? It seems like your best odds would be to try to save money, but and just try to buy your own ticket. But I've seen a lot of people that have said that they just rather throw a WrestleMania party. And to be truthfully honest, you could make a lot of money back by throwing your own WrestleMania show, charge by the person, maybe $10, $15, have snacks and whatever, and just make it a party because 15 grand is ridiculous, and even if you wanted to use an app like Afterpay or QuadPay, and break down the payments, it's like Chaos said, what if you go to the show and the show is not good? Now you still have 3 payments of $3,000 that you have to pay for a show that probably didn't even exceed your expectations. So, um, you know, I would I would suggest skip that pay-per-view. Maybe go to SummerSlam. That's a 2-day pay-per-view. Um, one of the shows that's going to be in maybe even the Royal Rumble. It just money wise, it just doesn't seem like a good investment. But I mean, if you got it, do it. That's all
Yeah,
I have
no,
to
I
it.
mean,
If you got it, do it.
no, I mean it's true. You know, for the people who do have the money to do it, it will be great for them. And Sean Ellis is saying at least WWE give the WWE Universe a week of experiences that they'll never find in other
That is
promotions.
true.
That is true,
No one
and you
does it
do
better like
remember
them.
it.
I've been
Yeah,
to WrestleMania Access. We've had obviously our experiences when we went to and one in LA. No one does it like WWE. So I could definitely agree with that. And so obviously on top of that, they offer some stuff that is free at the same time, like the
yeah.
Superstore and whatnot. So don't get me wrong, but yeah,
The stuff in
they're
it isn't.
really sorry.
The stuff in it isn't.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Just if you haven't got 2K, then just stay there all day and play that all day. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
But don't get me wrong. It's I've been to like WrestleMania Access, and you know they were showing NXT matches for free. Got free autographs from certain people that was there before they started charging. So I was one of the lucky ones. And yeah, it's definitely an experience. But yeah, this is just an absolute reach. And yeah, they hopefully. There will be some type of boycotting in a way, but like I said, I just feel like they're not reaching out to us that the
yeah.
working man. Is more about, you know, whoever's got the biggest pockets, and yeah, just you know, just fill out as many seats with those kind of people. So yeah, I just hope it doesn't leak over to us, because we, you know, that's what I'm more worried about, to be fair.
Right.
But I agree with Megan as well. I'm because I was planning to have host my own WrestleMania party myself, because it's on my birthday weekend. This is WrestleMania,
Oh, nice.
so yeah, I was just gonna have some friends over and just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is ridiculous.
I mean, it absolutely, truly is. I mean, Saul says, do these prices set the future of WWE events going forward? The
Hope
fact is, I
not.
think they do. Because they've been slowly increased, both actually WWE and AEW. Which again, I don't really understand
Well,
why AEW are doing it right now. Both of them by the month are currently increasing their ticket prices,
kind of.
and
I
it's
mean,
been the case for about the last 18 months.
I went to the one seats I got for Clash. That was floor. That was 300 each.
Mm.
And for and obviously when we went to, what is it, Money in the Bank, that wasn't that bad, was it? We got the same seats. That was what, probably
Oh,
like,
that was.
was that 150 or something?
I think it was slightly more than that, but it was also for SmackDown as well.
That as well, yeah. When I went to Bash in Berlin, that also got SmackDown. That was also about 350 each. So
Okay,
I
that's
think I
not as
just
bad
feel
as
like
I thought.
I just feel like they're just doing the worst for, like, when it comes to WrestleMania. I don't think it'll be as bad as for the other pay-per-views. They can't take the piss.
They're in general the prices for their weekly TV even is up there. It is across the board. They've been raising the prices
But
drastically.
not 15
And
grand
they,
though.
no, not the 15 grand. No, you're right there.
Yeah.
And AEW is doing the same too. And I just don't think it's good for the wrestling business at all. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, Saul saying Clash at the Castle in Scotland, the floor seats were 800, and that sounds more like it. Just for normal floor seats, 800, not even front row. I mean, I
Right.
was second row at, again, it's NXT, but NXT Takeover Cardiff. I was second row, and I think it cost me like £100. And that was still potentially, from an in-ring perspective, the best event I've ever been to. It was amazing.
What a
We
time
have
to be
some
alive.
Megan. We have some Megan fans in the comments. Shout out to Megan.
Shot.
And Frankie E is saying, I got in the queue pretty. Oh, wait a second. No, I need to read out the first one first. Frankie E is saying that his seats were $875 each after tax, and he feels lucky.
You should be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
And he was on the
I
second
can't believe I'm
tier.
saying
That
that.
is a very good view. The second tier, that's perfect middle view. Like,
800 and oh my gosh,
that is
that
actually
should be
not that
front
could be worse.
row.
It should
Anyway,
be. No, 100% it should be. But you know, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's triple when you probably, if you went in there now. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Compared.
yeah.
Um,
Bobby Petito is saying, hello, guys, and happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well, Bobby. And MD B999 is saying, Megan is my tribal chief.
I love
Megan
you, my
Hollis and
tribal
the
chief.
Megan.
Pay him no attention, y'all. I know him
Not-
off of Twitter, but he's a card. He is a character, that one.
Right, let's now move on and let's talk a little bit about AEW, shall we?
Oh boy.
More specifically, AEW Rampage, because I need to get the sound up for a second, guys. Where is it? Here it is. Warning, warning, it is a dirt sheet report, right? It might end up being wrong, but according to Fightful Select, AEW Rampage is now officially cancelled. There are talks about potentially a new third show. They're shopping that around, but we'll talk about that, at a later date. Right now, AEW Rampage is going to be cancelled in the very near future after this existing TV deal expires. So presumably will be the start of 2025 at the latest. So my question for you, Chaos, is do you think removing Rampage and perhaps only having Dynamite and Collision to focus on for a while, and then down the line, maybe in a few months after that, potentially adding a third show back into the mix, do you think just having those few months to really focus on Dynamite and Collision again could help this AEW product, which has been getting mixed reviews as of late?
About damn time. I've been tired of. I've been waiting for this day. I'm sorry. Soul must be having a flipping meltdown in the comments. But yeah, Rampage has been absolutely. It's been non-existent to me. Pretty much since like CM Punk was only on it for a couple times. So what you're talking about a year and a bit? Because I know he showed up on there. Probably didn't really do much. He just showed up there and did a couple promos and whatnot. But yeah, that show has become a whole bunch of nothing. That was just a new version of Dark, just obviously just more lit up. It's completely lost its prominence and its value. Pretty much from the first episode like that came out, and it was what Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. It's just absolutely gone down the pits. I do agree. I feel like they definitely need to revitalize, especially their focus on Collision, because I feel like, again, ever since the old Punker left, it's completely lost its identity. It's completely lost its like why am I wasting my Saturday night to watch this with a whole bunch of nothing shows. Sure, they might be great in quality, but it's like, what would I rather do? Watch an hour or 2 hours of wrestling, or go out and have a drink with my friends, or play the latest Call of Duty or something. I don't know. There's so many things you could do on a Saturday night, and yeah, it's completely lost its identity. I feel like two shows they need to go back to and focus on those guys. I think that was its strongest point. And then, like you said, yeah, maybe if the ratings pick up, if the interest picks up, then maybe add another one, and maybe actually start flaunting a possible brand split. Even though we barely got the wheels turning when they started to try to do that kind of brand split with when Punk was there with Collision. It definitely brought some interest into the show. Even though there was a lot of certain behind the scenes stuff going behind it that made people be interested in seeing who was Team Punk and who was anti-Punk at the time. But it got a lot of eyes on the product compared to now. So yeah, I feel like I'm glad that Rampage is done, because it was just dying, absolutely dying. And it's a long time coming. So yeah, regroup, do with 2 shows, and then when you come to the third, maybe actually start toying with the brand split, and I think that might actually help things. And then people can pick and choose what shows they want to watch and what shows they don't want to watch. Because right now, all I watch is Dynamite. I do not care about Rampage. I certainly don't care about Collision, and I definitely don't care about Battle of the Belts. So yeah, scrap those, focus, and regroup.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said there, Chaos. I mean, right at the start of Collision, I loved it. It felt different. It felt more story-driven. Everything had a bit more time to breathe on it compared to Dynamite. And I thought that was refreshing. I thought that was needed. And I thought it was a huge W for AEW. Here's the thing. Punk and Ace Steel left. Creative clearly changed for that show.
Yep.
And it literally did become a mix of, well, it was basically Dynamite for the opening segment and main event, and then the rest of it was AEW Dark. That is basically what the show was. It was just...
It had a different feel to it. Yeah, it had a different
I
feel to it because, like, obviously, you see the beginning. Everyone had the little promos at the beginning. Intro comes
yeah,
in. Punk does his little promo. It was just had a different revitalizing
it was
feel.
fun.
Now it was fun, and now see, Punk. AEW misses Punk. Just that's all it is. They miss Punk. God bless Punk.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they kept that exact formula with their talent now, it would have worked brilliantly. But guess what? They didn't. And I watched it this weekend. I watched it in its entirety for the first time, or sorry, last week for the first time in a good couple of months. And I was like, oh, really fun opening match. Then it was literally just squash matches until the main event, and the main event wasn't anything special. And I was like, what are you expecting will happen here? We got quite a few comments here. The heel Mark says, well, that's what happens when you don't have people coming to your shows. I mean, I don't think that's the case, but I just don't think they could justify spending more money, Warner Brothers Discovery on Rampage when it wasn't doing great. Numero one Superfly saying, speaking of Battle of the Belts, get rid of that as well. Well, where's the siren gone? Where's the siren gone?
Oh damn!
Because it's also been reported, numero one Superfly, that's gone as well, according to Fightful Select. So if you
Damn
want to
straight.
believe that, there we are. MDB999 says, as someone who's at the first ever episode of Collision, that show has become awful. I mean, yeah, it has.
I mean, when we remember we saw it in Cardiff, because they taped what Dynamite and
Yeah.
Collision. There was quite a few people that left during Collision. Obviously there was a lot of hype with was it not Big Phil? What's his name?
Big
What's his name?
Bill.
Big Bill and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was just like any other show. It could have easily been Dynamite. You know what I mean? It has no identity. It's just random matches, and yeah, they need to really regroup on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where was the other comment I was going to read out? Oh, Sean Ellis is saying Rampage got cancelled because Tony Khan is a spoiled, egotistical brat. No, he's not. Leave Tony alone. The guy gets more hate than anybody in wrestling.
It's true, though. What are you about?
He's not an egotistical brat. He might have. He might. Tony Khan's biggest issue is he tries to do too much, right? But I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is really new to the professional wrestling business. He's new to this level of spotlight, quite frankly. And he became overnight the most hated guy in wrestling. And he's taken it so well. And I will defend Tony Khan on that because I think he gets too much hate. Now, there's criticisms, fair enough, but hate, I'll never go and attack his character because he does seem like a lovely guy. Brad is saying, hi, guys, I'm Brad. Hi, Brad, I hope you're having a great day. Hi, guys. But, guys, let's now move on because before we talk about Mr. Cody Rhodes, I need to talk to you guys about Progress Wrestling, specifically this weekend's event, Progress Wrestling Chapter 172, Werewolves of London, because the card is absolutely stacked for it. It's going to be live on Demand Progress Plus, and you can use code What'sProgress1 to get 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress Wrestling, Defy, and more. But talking about Defy, the Defy Championship will be on the line as Kenta defends against Cara Noir. That's going to be a banger. The Progress World Championship will also be on the line as Luke Jacobs defends against Man Like the Reese. Yes, please, that is going to be a great match as well. Eddie Dennis and Tate Mayfez, they're teaming up once again to take on Subculture. There's a lot of Welsh people in that match, so personally, I'm excited for it. But that is not the only tag match because the tag titles will also be on the line as the Smoking Aces will defend against The Experience. That will be fun, undoubtedly. But the Progress Proteus title will also be on the line. A lot of titles on the line as Paul Robinson defends against Simon Miller. I mean, that's going to be a fun one too. And there's another tag team match as well as Sunshine Machine will be taking on Session Moff Martina and Gene Money. I mean, will Moff Martina and Gene Money be on the same page this time? There's got to be a lot of talk about that, right? But the main event of the card has now been confirmed, and I'm so happy about it, right? Because Rio is going to be defending in the main event the Women's Championship against Lizzie Evo. Yes, please. Rio's championship reign so far has been so good, and she deserves this main event slot, and I am hyped to see her get this. But could Lizzie Evo spoil it all? Could she dethrone Rio and end her record-breaking reign? You guys will have to find out this Sunday. Demand Progress Plus. Use code WatchProgress1 to get 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress, Defy, and more. It starts 3 p.m. UK time. Of course, the clocks change on Sunday, so it's going to be GMT, not BST. Quick thing to remember as well. But I'm super pumped for it, and I'm going to be doing a recap video on it next week, so that should be fun as well. But now, let's get back into the WWE, shall we? I mean, wait a second. We got a comment here. Sean Ellis saying he's not in Europe. It's available all over the world. No matter where you are, Demand Progress Plus, it's available worldwide. Just use code WatchProgress1 to get 50% off your first month. Shard is saying, man like Darius will win the belt and beat up Lucas Jacobs, he says. MDB999 says, they got werewolves in London. But MD also says Simon Miller, the GOAT. Yes. And
I don't know
Charlie's
how I feel about
rooting
that
for
one, Mark.
Lizzie Evo.
I don't know how I feel about that one, Mark. I don't know how to feel, but yeah, carry on.
But oh, okay. I need to take a breath now after reading all that out and talk about Cody Rhodes instead, because we just spoke about Rio, who's breaking records right now. Well, Cody Rhodes has just hit the 200-day mark the 200-day mark of being WWE champion. Megan, what are your thoughts on his championship reign thus far?
Oh my God. I feel like Ben is setting me up for this because he knows I am a Cody crybaby. So I am definitely team Cody Rhodes all the way. But this title reign, it's been it's been a roller coaster. It's been up and down. Um, as I mentioned before, I felt like his title reign kind of started off a little slow because we had his first title defense against AJ Styles, then Logan Paul, and then they ran it back with AJ Styles, and then he had Kevin Owens, which seemed like kind of a throwaway match, and then of course Solo Sikoa. Um, as I mentioned before, I'll say it again. I feel like the people that I would love to see Cody defend his title to is on Raw. He's running out of people on SmackDown to defend his title against. There is so many heels that he could be defending his title against. I would love to see him and Big Bronson Reed. I would love to see them run back him and Seth Rollins again. But I guess Seth is considered a face. Um, I would love to see a budding feud between him and CM Punk. They kind of hinted at it when CM Punk first came back, and then of course they dropped it because they shipped Cody to SmackDown. Um, Drew, like there is so many faces I would love to see go up against Cody for his title, and because there is such a limited amount of people on SmackDown, because it seems like they're kind of slowing the potential feud between him and Randy, and now we're kind of riding this feud with him and Kevin Owens, but then he's still kind of wrapped up in the bloodline. So it kind of feels like they don't know what to do with him. And I think it has a lot to do with they originally had a plan to have Cody not win at this past WrestleMania, and they was going to have him go up against Seth, and they was going to have The Rock and Roman, and I think they was riding on that. And so with the fans wanting Cody to win, they had to scramble and change the whole trajectory of that title. And it seems like they're kind of like piecing things together as it goes. So therefore, I don't think his reign is as powerful as I know it could be, and I do feel like that was the fork in the road when it came down to Cody's reign. So right now, I like that they had Randy on Raw. I hope that they at some point bring somebody from SmackDown, um, from somebody from Raw to SmackDown to kind of challenge Cody the same way they had Randy do for Gunther. I'm hoping that they'll do that because right now I feel like I said, they just don't know what to do with Cody right now. So his title reign hasn't been great to me. I
I
feel
agree
like it's
completely.
just kind of put together. And Cody deserves better than that. He
I
does.
completely agree. I think Cody, to your point, has done amazing with everything he's been given. But all like the best
Absolutely.
matches, like you said, are on the other brand. Like it kind of feels like he's just been given crumbs of what the possible title reign that he could have is. And I think quite a few people in the comments agree here. With MDB999 saying Cody mid title reign Rhodes. I mean, Shard is saying Cody Mustafa Rhodes has been cooking. Sean Ellis is saying, is Cody going heel?
I'm hoping.
I
I'm
hope
rooting
so
for
too.
it. I've been
Yeah,
rooting for it for months. I think that will be the turn in his title reign that is needed. And I think a
yeah,
lot of people have remembered Cody's heel time in Ring of Honor and stuff, and they kind of want that back. And I know that he will be a good heel. As I mentioned before, it's kind of hard to have two faces of
That's
the
what I'm saying.
standard as Cody and Roman on the same brand. It just
yeah.
it
That-
as long as Roman is a face, I feel like Cody is still going to be second place, and he is the champion. He should not be below Roman, but
Mm.
he's seen
No, I
that way.
completely agree with you. I completely agree, and I think a lot of the comments here do as well. I mean, well, Sean Allison, make Roman retire. Sean just loves to say the most outrageous things in these comments. Although Jacob Fatu for WWE Champion, that is a cause which I could get behind. Heel Cody coming soon. There's another one saying that. I'd be down for it
Nah,
as well.
No,
I mean, Clark was saying it last year with the tie clip situation. He was saying, "Oh, he's a heel because of that." But
nah.
throughout all the jokes he was making good points about how great of a heel Cody could be. But talking about Cody Rhodes, we are going to see him on tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown because it's time for the SmackDown preview because Cody and Gunther will come face to face tonight. We've also got Game 7 of Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes, the final match presumably between these two, unless they strangely do a best out of 9. I mean, that's possible as well. And actually, that's all they've announced for this week's SmackDown. Uh, that's unusual. Usually this preview's really long. It's only two
mm,
things. It's only got two things this week. Well,
Yeah.
Chaos, what are you most excited for?
Okay, no stress. Oh no, of course there's DIY versus machine guns as well.
I mean, yes, I thought it was.
Actually, Kobe actually said it
Although,
himself. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it should be fine. It's kind of smelling like a bit like filler. It might be a filler episode, but there's no real need for it to be. You know, they already just come back from their tour. I know they're going to go back again next week, I believe, on the UK tour. Um, but yeah, this one should be. I feel like we're going to get a couple surprises. Uh, yeah, I think we probably. I hope we get like a return or two. I mean, why not? Why use that to fill out the show? But the Cody and Gunther thing, I think it's run its course. I feel like they're just doing a face to face for a nothing title. It doesn't. I don't really care for it. I just it just really bugs me that they're wasting this feud over this ridiculous championship that they are bringing around the backstage in the arena just for them to open it up. All right, it's still there. All right, close it. All right, let's go somewhere else. It's flipping. I hate that thing. It's so stupid why they keep doing that. One episode, fine, but they're doing it for both Raw and SmackDown. It's really irritating me. Anyway, yeah, it's a bit annoying that I thought this between Andrade and Carmelo, I thought it was going to be a best of 3, then they're doing the best of 5, then the best of 7. I hope this is actually the end of it, because as much as I love the best of series, but it's I think it's starting to wear a bit thin now. Just yeah, this won't be the end of be all end all. Maybe revisit it later down the line. Andrade and Melo need new opponents, not just they could actually feud and make them meaningful. So yeah, match wise, that and as well as DIY and Motor City Machine Guns, and hopefully a surprise or two. So, but like you said, there's not really much to go on from here. So those two, that's it. Yeah.
No, it is good you pointed out DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns, because that's the match which I'm personally most excited for tonight. But it has been taken off WWE.com. So that might not mean anything, but it was there when I looked this morning, and it's not there now. Maybe that means nothing. Because they have removed stuff recently, to be fair, like in the day, and then it's been on the episode anyway. But there might be some script ripping up, throwback to 2022.
But no, the last 20 years, bro. God damn.
D6 Warlord says, don't stop the stream yet, guys. I have a question for you guys. You have 4 minutes, D6 Warlord, to ask it. Megan, what about you? What are you excited for on tonight's episode?
Well, out of all the matches that has been named tonight, I guess it's the Game 7, Andrade and Carmelo with LA Knight as the referee. I think that will be a pretty entertaining match. All three of them have I'm like chaos. At first I was getting really drained out by this constant feud between Andrade and Carmelo, but the backstage feuding and the just the scrabbling and the fighting backstage kind of drew me back into their feud. And now you threw LA Knight in it, which he's always funny. I'm seeing that there's seems to be a lot more special guest referee matches that WWE is throwing out. So those always have a fun little twist to it. But I'm looking forward to seeing my girls Lash and Jakar come back. It seems like they're kind of hinting at a rematch between them and Bianca and Jade, and I'm kind of hoping so, because I was one of the first people that had an issue with how the first match kind of went down. So I'm hoping that we do get a rematch. They deserve their time, and I'm more than certain we're going to see Nia and Tiffany. But seeing as how Chelsea and Piper kind of took out Damage Control and Jakara and Lash at on NXT, I'm more than likely looking forward to seeing Chelsea and Piper probably going up against them at some point. It's a prediction, but I can see it happening. So I guess I'm excited about the special guest referee match and whatever else they haven't promoted yet for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hyped for that as well, and hopefully, to your point, they do have more on the show, and it's not just those 3 things.
Two matches.
It might be a quick episode.
Right.
Unless they give Carmelo and Andrade an hour, they let them go 60 minutes. They let the tag match go 45 minutes, and they let Cody and Gunther have a little bit of a chat at the end of the show.
Oh no, that's too much.
That is the perfect 2 hours spent.
But DCX Warlord said, would Orange Cassidy and Juice Robinson be a great tag team? Yes, they would, just so they can be called Orange Juice. That is the only
Oh
reason
my
you do
God.
it. But yes, DCX Warlord, They absolutely would be. Kobe has an
Ugh.
issue with LA Knight as the referee.
Ugh.
Orange
What's
juice.
wrong with you? Orange juice. Jump off a cliff. Come on.
Orange Juice versus the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah.
I'm
AEW's down the pits if that's the case. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sports for You says tickets cost a kidney. And another shout out to
Ah,
Megan as well.
hey, y'all.
Megan is over in the comments today.
I'm trying to
Absolutely.
be.
But
That's why I disappear so that y'all can miss me when I am on the show.
exactly, yeah. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you to everybody who's commented along. We love it when the comments are active like this. Numa One Superfly saying Orange Cassidy, Orange Juice. They will be the most dominating tag team in all of professional wrestling. And Rosario says, good show. Right. Thank you guys so much. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk a little bit of Friday Night SmackDown. So see you there, and shout out to Bobby Petito. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.